Welcome to Driving School WA Tutorials. In this short video, I'm going to explain how to avoid this common error when you're turning at a T junction or any 90-degree angle for that matter. So if you're turning left in this particular situation, you would have to get closer to the left-hand side curb, okay? So you're not going to line up your vehicle like this, like straight, because you're risking to cross over to the other side, to the other direction. And there's a high number of people who fail for this particular error. So you've got to position your car towards the curb and then you would turn without going over to the other side potentially. If you're checking the right hand side and there's a car coming and if you're a bit rushed to take a turn and if you're a little bit too wide like this, it's very easy to lose control and go over the line, which obviously means that you will interfere with the traffic from the opposite direction. So avoid lining up your vehicle like that to turn left because that's going to be too wide, okay? So always remember to hug the curb on the left, okay? So you've got to be closer to the curb, so angle your vehicle closer to a 45-degree angle than 90 when you turn just prior to turning, okay? Now, if you're turning right, so that's a different story. So if you're turning right, you should be lined up straight up like that. And obviously you've got to give way to that direction there and that direction there in this particular situation. And then when it's safe to do so, you would clearly be able to turn. Imagine if you're turning right at this particular intersection and you position your car slightly to the left. This is wrong as well because it's going to impact your path, particularly if you want to rush through the intersection, so you might even lose control. So it's going to be harder to kind of go that way without making any errors. So just make sure you're sort of straight or even slightly closer to the right, depending on the width of the actual lane that you're turning from, okay? So it's going to be a lot easier to do that, okay? Then hooking it outwards and then trying to make a right turn. Just to recap, so when you're turning left, just make sure you keep it closer to the curb, so hug the curb when you're turning left. But if you're turning right, you can either go straight or slightly angle it to the right hand side. So it's going to be a lot easier to turn. So this is one of the things that people get wrong in their driving assessment. Some say that it was because of the pressure, there was traffic coming both ways and they were trying to make a right decision, so they kind of didn't prioritize their path, and as a result they went a bit wider, or they cut the corner one or the other thing. So just ensure that you have a lot of practice on this particular maneuver, because you are going to encounter this many times in everyday life. It's so common. To avoid failing driving tests based on your path points, just make sure that you score enough points for your path. Also, when you're turning right, this would be an instant fail, okay? So if you're turning right and if there's a car turning right in this particular street, say, despite that they are slowing down, you must make sure that you wait until that car's completely gone, okay? So they've got to be completely gone in order for you to proceed to the right. So people haven't had much of a preparation doing these things are more likely to make this mistake. Uncontrolled intersections are the best way to practice and make sure that you sharpen up your judgment when it comes to how you turn, what's the safe gap, to make sure that you judge people's speed and the distance, and as a result to make a right decision. Practice this particular maneuver at an uncontrolled intersection with your driving instructor or private supervisor. That way you're going to be much more comfortable and competent doing this particular maneuver even after you pass your driving test. And this situation is something that you're going to come across almost every single day, even if you're doing only a short route. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.